Hello, how is everybody? We are starting our new series of a live podcast, and it is with myself and Mer, and it is a little bit behind the scenes of us. It's a little bit more personal, and it's just about kind of getting to know us and a little bit behind the scenes of Equitas, but it is probably just more of a banter and a chat between myself and Mer. I'm going to try and add her. I am the wine. Hello.
Hello.
I brought the wine. I'm not going to lie, Mer. I was looking forward to having a chat with you, but I was very much looking forward to having a glass of a Tuesday. Who do we think we are?
So I have just literally ran out of the rugby club, hence my weird red face, because Fionn trains on a Tuesday. And one of the lads, and you know how much I talk, so I'm always I always end up spending ages because I always end up talking to somebody, shock horror. So one of the lads said to me, "Oh, you look like you're really busy." And I was like, "No, I'm going to drink wine and have a chat to a friend of mine who's like, are you the boss?" Yes.
I love it. I love it. This could actually be a normal live stream, as in 30, 40, 50 minutes, whatever, or it could be very, very short because I'm home alone with the girls. So let's pray to good Jesus that they stay in bed. So I apologize.
This is what we do, so we're going with
it. It is what it is. What is it? How does it feel to be on our first Double D's live podcast?
I love it. I am loving this. I'm so intrigued. Like we've had many chats about my struggle to be professional and to put on professional wearing. So it'll be very interesting to see what people think of unprofessional wearing, really, to be honest.
When Mer goes wrong.
I go slightly wrong there.
Well, I mean, like, that's the reason that we wanted to do it live. We wanted to kind of, so our podcast has been very, very quiet for the last number of months. We kind of, Spotify changed over and did bits and pieces, and I just didn't have the time to get back into it and figure out the tech side of it. But anyway, we have that done now, and we wanted to kind of kick back and start up something else. But we also wanted to kind of just let everyone know a little bit more about us, like, and we get on so well, and we're obviously running Equitas together, and it's just seems like really good fun. So that's what we said we would do. So here we are. But we wanted it to be unfiltered, and we wanted it to be just basically real life. So it is what it is, and yeah, we're here, and we will be every Tuesday at 8 p.m. with the wine. So join us.
Yeah.
So you will find this. Yeah. Exactly. So you will find this on Spotify afterwards, and again on YouTube. So if you're listening on there, it may not be live, but we appreciate the ears on us anyway. Right. So kicking off a little bit more, I know we've spoken, but we've kind of curtailed our conversations to try and save them for this. So we want to catch up on the week that we've just had, and it has been odious. Like, of all the weeks, it was a busy week.
Sorry, I could be filtered sometimes.
Mer was there for it was 4 days, wasn't it? You were there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was there with my family on Wednesday, and then I was there in a professional capacity on Thursday. So we finally got a chance to kind of like do an event together, which was mega. That was really, really fun, and Shane too. And yeah, it felt like we were really kind of loved having the media base, the same way we did last year. Now, bearing in mind, this time last year I was MIA. I was actually having brie while the RDS was on. I think I was in labour with the Irish Camel happening.
The media rooms there, Jesus.
But yeah, I thought it was really good on a professional capacity. Like, to be honest, like, right, full disclosure, I was probably a bit nervous ahead of it because we're on the back of the news of cancelling the mental health summit. We didn't really know how people were going to take that. You know, that was a hard hit for us. Like, and we're taking it not personally, but like, you know, we really kind of took everything into account, and it was a really tough decision, and we were so gutted and heartbroken to have to pull the plug on it. But the response that we got from everybody was just brilliant.
Yeah.
The support that we got from everybody, it was great. And it's so
It
nice to
was
see that from them
lovely.
face to face, isn't it?
And it was so lovely to be able to have those conversations face to face. And like, I know people were so good, and there was so many messages came in, and there was phone calls and emails, and people were very understanding of why we had to make such a colossal decision. But it was lovely to be able to sit down and actually say, look, this was our reasoning, this is what happened. And the amount of people, and all predominantly really, really good, really good in fairness. But the amount of people that were going, I don't think people realise how much stronger you'll come back after this. And
Yeah.
that was it.
For that
That was everything.
And then it was kind of somewhat exciting. You know what I mean?
Daddy commenting on a live stream.
Stop it. Stop it, Mr. O'Toole.
You know we'll be after you both.
Oh, God. I was
like what's smoking at the back of the boiler.
It's like when your real life crosses over with your professional life. You're like, oh my God, I don't realise that people actually pay attention to this.
You know what I thought was hilariously funny? 3 separate people called me Theo. I was like, no,
yeah.
I'm wearing Theo.
Look, where you could be called worse. You could be called worse.
Like, I get life after the yard. That makes sense to me. But I was going, Theo, really? Like,
that is a good
even
one.
Annabelle. Like, if people were calling me Annabelle, like, I could kind of get that. But I was going, really? What is this going on? Now, I did take it wholeheartedly, to be fair. And then I decided maybe they were a bit dodgy on the Moran pronunciation, so they were going down around it. Gary, am I allowed to tell that story? How unfiltered am I allowed to get, Gary?
I hate to break it to you, but you're after starting something there now. You're going to have to finish it. So sorry, Gary.
Myself and Gary. Well, this is not full permission from Gary. Myself and Gary were standing in the middle of the RDS, right? Social media is obviously an amazing thing. It's a huge part of what we use as our company, our daily lives. It's a cracking thing, right? But we were standing in the middle of the RDS. Shockingly enough, I was talking. I was on the phone. Got off the phone, and Gary said to me, "Where did you hear that?" No, what? Your man that just walked past went, "Oh, look, there's the Muppet from the Grassroots Rider Academy." And so in fairness to Gary, took it like an absolute champ. I think I would have taken it to heart. Gary took it so well. He nicknamed himself Kermit for the whole rest of the day. Like, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Like, I would have been going, oh my God, somebody doesn't like me. I don't know. Like, Gary took it like...
Gary, that's too funny. That's too funny.
Champ. To be fair to him, like, he took it so well. Because I was thinking, who said that now? I'm going to tell them not to be saying
that. You get protective, don't you? You're like, how dare you say that about my friend?
You don't be saying things like that. Jesus, like... Sorry, Sarah, I know I'm going way off our schedule here now. Well, our slides go. Well, that's still RDS related, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm making a note of another topic that I want to bring up, actually, when you remind me of that. I'm going to make a note of
I like it.
That we'll bring up at a later date, but it'll be good, and I'll be looking for plenty of advice. So the RDS, like, I mean, there was kind of everyone that we spoke to, there was kind of mixed feedback as to how busy they were. Wasn't it? Like, was it the weather? Was it the Olympics? Was it like, it was so strange, wasn't it?
It seemed to even be the placing of where they were. Like, some people were saying Simmons Court was absolutely packed. Some were saying it was quiet. Like, where Tom's stand was kind of down in front of Ring 3 seemed too busy constantly because there was people walking over and back. At one stage, you couldn't get through inside. It was jammers. But some of the companies were saying, oh, it's been a little bit quieter today than it had been in previous years. So it was really hard to tell. Like, I would have said numbers were up. Definitely. But there's a few people have said the numbers were down. So I don't know. But it was lovely to see. It was very nearly like a pre-COVID Dublin. Like,
I was just going to say, it really felt like it had kind of recovered, you know what I mean? Which was great, what we all want to see. So it would be interesting to know the numbers, but yeah, it was good in that perspective. What I found really hard, and this is getting a little bit kind of personal for me probably. I actually find it really hard going up to people and introducing myself. Like, talk about giving
Well,
like cringe factor. I was like,
yeah,
okay, so obviously like I'm there for Equitas. I need to like man up and get going and like, whatever, it is what it is. No
yeah,
one's
but
judging
you
me. I'm just
have
in my own head.
that.
But like I was literally like all I'm doing is introducing myself,
But
and you're just overthinking it. So
it's
I have a
such
bit
a
of work to
funny
do there myself
feeling.
personally. But
But even like we had the conversation during the week about what we wear. Like I love wearing my Equitas coat because it's my armor. Like I don't think about myself because I'm going up to introduce Equitas. And
yeah,
I'm just a little byproduct of that. Like I
yeah.
have to introduce myself to get to the Equitas bit. But I think if I had to do that without some form of logo or something that I can go, this is me, this is part of my identity, I would really struggle.
It made me actually think about the brands that are there, the shops that are there. Okay, so some of them are like massive and
Yeah.
their brand name kind of sells themselves, but there are a lot of them that were small businesses, which is amazing to see. But they have to sell on the
Yeah.
stand. They actually have to kind of say, have you heard of us before? Have you seen us before? Have you, and they have to sell a product. I was like, that is hard. And I think that goes really, really like underestimated how kind of
Oh. But sure,
tricky that is,
even
you know?
Naomi in ARC that did the interview with me, that
Yeah,
we did the role
yes,
reversal,
the young girl.
she
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
in
yeah.
the stand all week. And she was herself and her sister, and they were absolute rock stars. And I was actually thinking to myself after that interview, like I wouldn't have been able to do that at 15 years of age. There was no way that, and I was a cocky little so and so. But there is no way I would have been able to put myself out there like that. Fair play to them. Like
Some of them
their
are just incredible, incredible.
confidence levels. And I know that when you're on a stand, you believe in what you're selling and you believe in what you're talking about and you know the products work and you want to do what's best for them. But to even be able to walk up to somebody and say, have you heard of Arc Equine? Have you heard of Equitas? Have you heard of
Yeah, yeah. No, a credit to them. I have to say they were inspiring in so many ways, so many ways. What did you get up to after the RDS? You had a busy day Sunday.
So, not gonna lie, Saturday I came home for the pre-sons. I was tired. I was peopled out. I was getting a little bit snarky. I needed a little bag of crisps. And actually, do you know what was lovely? I came home. There was nobody here. Our house is always busy, lads. Oh, there's very, very rarely is there nobody. Like there's 6 people in my sitting room now being told to shush. Like very rarely that the house is quiet. So I got my glass of wine, shockingly enough. I got a packet of crisps. I went into the sitting room and I opened all the windows and I sat and watched the Puissance on the telly. It was lovely.
I
It was
have to
just lovely.
say, I did watch the pre-song on the telly and I watched the Grand Prix on the Sunday on the TV as well. And there was just something a little bit kind of just chill
Oh,
about it. And the girls actually watched it too, which was great.
oh, that's very cool. Oh, stars mean to go on, Sarah. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Sunday was the Tullow Show institution here at home in Carlow. The whole kit and caboodle of us went. It was actually lovely. I met all of my family bar my sister who toddled off to Edinburgh for the weekend. So the whole lot of us were there. It was absolutely jammers. I didn't know what way the crowd was going to be between Electric Picnic and the horse show. I was obviously hoping it was going to be big, but it was lovely. It was a really, really lovely day. Didn't stay late, to be honest. I think we were home like 5 or 6 o'clock, so it was grand. I then practiced Notion for a while because I'm not very good
good
on Notion.
woman. Good woman. Okay, so Notion is what we use for our project management tool in Equitas, and I am obsessed. I'm absolutely obsessed. We just myself and Notion just get on very, very well. And it's not the same relationship for everyone else in the team, so they're having to make an effort
Very
to get on board.
there. That was very well done. I'm really shit at Notion, lads. Let's just call a spade a spade. I'm like, Sarah, I'm lost. I'm pressing buttons. So I have to practice. This is where we've come to now. But we're getting there. It's getting
Yeah.
better slowly but surely, but we're getting there.
Yeah, no, and I can see little notifications coming back in, and it makes me uber proud. So yeah, I'll I'll to be looked at. You'll hear me going, I have a beef with you now. Next week I'll be like, you didn't do it.
going to have this out in the live stream next week, lads. This is the...
Yeah, I'm going to be hoarding all of our information. You won't hear from me for the week.
I feel your notion, Maureen. I never got the hang of it. Sarah,
Now,
give us
hang on,
boat
quick.
lessons.
See, stop enabling. Stop enabling now. Come on, stop that now. She can do this. She's an intelligent person. She can do this. The way we kind of figured that we might do this podcast is that we'll talk about a couple of main things. We don't want to be kind of trying to fit loads of stuff in on a weekly basis. We want to kind of talk and perhaps get a little bit into some things.
Yeah.
All still while being lighthearted and kind of chill about it. But obviously, I did mention when I put this up on Instagram yesterday that I'm going through potty training with Paige, and it is entertaining to say the least, which then sparked a conversation then with Mer as to the phase that she's at with her boy. So I suppose for anyone who doesn't know, I have two girls, 1-year-old and 2-year-old, Brie and Paige, and then Mer has, well, I
have two. They're absolutely beautiful. They're such lovely kids, in fairness. And then I have Fionny. Fionny is 12 and he is starting secondary school next week. So we are going to...
Right, Mar, so come on, hit us with what's been happening with Fionny starting secondary school. Sorry, Fionn, we're going to literally...
I told him. He scowled at me. Well, he scowls at me all the time now anyway, but he scowled at me. I told him this is what we were going to be discussing this evening. So it's a whole different ball game. Like, I obviously want him to be really strong and really independent and be able to hold his own and be confident in himself. Like, it's so important that that's such a huge element. But he's still my baby. And I want to, like, mind him a little bit and give him a little hug and tell him that's going to be okay. And, like, I'm very, very lucky. I'm very lucky. And we actually had, myself and my sister had a big conversation the other day about, she said to me, well, he's a good chap. And I said, yeah, but he's always been a good chap. And she said, yeah, but he was well reared. But it's in him. He's a good person anyway. And now he'd have strong rearing, in fairness, in my flattest Carlo accent. But he's a good kid. But, like, he's coming home now. And, like, he announced the other day he had his first girlfriend. And I didn't know whether to cry or vomit or what to say to him. And I wanted to be cool and, like, so
you can tell me, son. You can tell me.
I'm cool, mommy. And we can have
oh my God.
Where's she from? Where do I know her, mommy and daddy? What is this like? But like, there's such a balance to it because all the way up along, since he started talking, we have spoken about everything, absolutely everything. We have a great relationship and a great old bond, and we get on really, really well. And I want that to continue. But the older he gets, the harder I'm finding it to keep the line between mommy and friend. And it's a really strange balance because I know there's things happening now that he doesn't want to tell me about. And that's grand. That's going to be how it is. That's grown up. There's a million things, sorry, that I didn't tell my parents when I was growing up.
maybe don't tell now.
Yeah. We'll get into that another day. That's a whole other podcast, lads.
Protect your daddy. Protect your daddy.
But now, to be fair, Dad knows the most of it at this stage now because I can't lie to save my life. But it's a really strange, like, he's entering this whole other adult world, and whereas social media was only starting when I was his age, like, he's now on TikTok, and that makes me nervous because that's opening a whole other world. He wants to come on Instagram because he wants to see this. He wants to know what's going on. He wants to know what's happening. That's a whole other world. Then, like, for example, brought him to the Cholo show on Sunday, whereas when he was younger, I'd be saying, oh, Jesus, like, I can't get anything done or I can't see anything because, like, he wants to be with me and needs to be held, or he was getting tired. I think I saw him twice. He was gone.
Yeah, okay.
And it's
he's so independent now.
Like, he's so independent, which I love. I absolutely love that that's invested in him, and he has a cracking group of friends. Like, a really, really lovely, lovely group of kids. But I want my baby back a little bit. I know.
And
I don't know, like, maybe that's just going to be it. Like Yvonne is saying there, they'll always be your babies, and they will. Like I think Yvonne's Ben is all grown up now, but it. I don't know. I think it's something that I'm really going to struggle with the older he gets and the more he kind of moves away from me. That whereas I do want him to be independent and I'd love him to see him going out and ruling the world and being the rock star that I know he is. But there's a little piece of me that wants to keep him at home and put a little bit of bubble wrap
But like,
and mind him.
is that not to be like, so the fact that he's independent and he has got good friends and he's a good kid and everything, like that's all really, really healthy. And as a mother, you want that for your kid. And like you're saying that that's exactly what it should be. Is it not like, I mean, I don't think you'd ever get to the point where you're like, okay, bye now. Ever. Like I see my mom and my brother and it's like, and I'm sure like your mom and your brothers too. Like, I mean, it's
I don't think I couldn't imagine ever as a parent going grant. But now I suppose I understand more now, more than any other time in my life, why mom and dad tried to be stricter with me because like God is spade, I was wild. Like I wanted out and gone. Like poor old mom, I must have said to her 10 times, when I'm 16, I'm moving out. No, I didn't. But like I was caught. And I suppose I appreciate more now why they wanted to put those boundaries in place and why they wanted to be stricter with me and they wanted to mind me. Whereas 16-year-old me was like, they're just off my crack. Like, I just want to go out and have fun and take over the world. But it's the balance of the two. Like, Pádraig is very good. Pádraig is my husband, obviously, but Pádraig is very good at kind of setting boundaries and keeping to his boundaries. Whereas I'm not so good. And I will allow him to step a little bit. Like, he cursed in front of me for the first time the other day, purposely. And I could see we're in the car and he was eyeing me while he said it. It's like, right, I'm going to have to, have some, like, he said something, I can't even remember. He was talking about moving cattle or you're moving something or loading something maybe. And he said, oh, sure, it was just being a gobshite. And he looked at me as he was saying it. It's like, right, kids, I know eventually you're going to curse. And I am no person to talk. I am a devil for cursing. So, but there's a time and a place and a respect for everything. And he kind of looked at me and went, yeah, I know. Like, I wouldn't say it in front of Granny or Grandad or Eileen, like, because that wouldn't be very nice. I said, Grant, as long as you know. Like,
would you be big on manners? Like, I'd be really, really picky on manners, like to a fault, to a degree. You know what I mean?
100%. It costs nothing to be polite. Nothing. And like, he's going to be living with you 3 times, but you got valid point, Emma. We were strategic. We have 2 pieces of our house, so he can live on one side, we can live on the other.
I love it.
Definitely, like, manners is unbelievably important, and I think you'll travel further being mannerly than anything else. And it's definitely something that we would have instilled in him from the moment he could talk. Please, thank you, and eye contact, because I've worked in so many shops, and there's people who come in. And I know to some people eye contact is a very personal thing and it's not a comfort zone for some people, and I understand that. But if you can be mannerly to the best of your ability, you should be in any situation.
And I think it's about impressions too. Like, I mean, and obviously, like, myself and John aren't parenting, we're only parenting a wet week, but you know, we were reared differently. You know, it's funny to hear his family isms kind of coming in. So, like, one of the things was, like, he has a thing, don't stand there with your hands in your pockets.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, well, that makes a lot of sense, because that gives the impression to somebody that you're ready to do something, or you're not just, like, standing there looking and observing. You know, you're ready to kind of to help out or whatever. And I was like, that's interesting. That was never said to me, even though, like, you know, we were kind of big on manners as well. Or one of the things from my parents. Well, the girls are so young
yet, like,
but his nephews and stuff like that, like, so his nephews would come up and they'd be watching him fix something or whatever, and or just even at the farm or what, and like all of that, and he'd be like, hands in your pockets. And I was like, no. I was like, but you're dead right. I was like, it actually gives a bad
Yeah.
impression. You know what I mean? And it's interesting. So now you see, like, whenever John's working or doing something and the nephews are around, you'll see them check themselves. But that will
Oh,
stand to them when they go looking
yeah.
for their job or they're standing there with their employer or
100%.
anything like that. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, it's interesting. One of the things that we actually, and I don't know whether like myself and John nearly had a row about this. Like, so it was we had this thing when we were younger that we had to ask if we leave the table when we were finished our dinner. So like we sit there and we're like, may I leave the table, please?
Yeah.
And invariably your parents would say yeah, or
Or
wait until we're all finished and then we'll all go or
yeah.
whatever. And I said it to Paige one of the days, I was like, are you asking to leave the table? And John was like, what's the deal with that? And I was like, well, I just think it's good manners, and that you
So,
couldn't grasp it. Like, so it's
out
so
of
funny just to see
curiosity,
everyone's
oh,
stance on
so
manners
there's
and how
so
far
many
they take
different
it and
things.
everything. It's so interesting.
A pure curiosity. When yourself and John got married, did you do a pre-wedding course?
Yeah, we got married in the church, so
Yeah.
we did do a pre-marriage course, and it was interesting. There was a couple on the marriage course, and I was like, oh my god, I really don't think they should be doing it. Yeah, like, and there was like fundamental disagreements. I was like, I'm really glad you guys did this. For us, it was a bit of crack, in fairness. And I don't know whether it was the people that we were with or whatever, but yeah,
There
it was a bit of,
is
but
a method
interesting
to my
nonetheless.
madness.
Interesting.
All completely. So I really frowned upon doing a marriage course. I didn't want to do it, but obviously we had to because that was what was needed. So we had to go and do it. But what I found fascinating was when they were talking about your family life, growing up in your family life and your different family values. And like my family, we didn't we didn't argue, as in we never shouted. If there was something that was going on, it was talked through, and it was all talked through very calmly and very quietly. And whereas Warwick's family, they all shouted at each other, but there's no badness meant by it. They all just shout. So, like, there could be 10 people in the room, and their normal conversation is really loud. So when I started coming down first, I was like, Mark, why are you all shouting at each other? Like, why does everybody shout? He's like, but we're not. Like, we're just talking.
Yeah,
Like, we're just having the chat. Like, what? This is not chat. What's going on?
I know,
And it
and it
took
is.
ages to get used to that, I suppose.
Yeah, that that you're not arguing, you're literally just having conversations.
Just
Yeah,
having
yeah. No, it's thing. But with the girls now at the minute, they're actually at a lovely phase. They're starting to like hug and interact and play, and obviously with that then comes the fighting. And you're like,
oh,
oh my god, you can't take your eyes off them. You have to watch them like an absolute hawk. And so yeah, it's fun, but on the back of like, so we started. Paige is starting preschool now in a couple of weeks, if you can
yeah.
believe that. Now she's technically starting a year early. She
Okay.
doesn't qualify for the ECC because the January baby. So I had a decision to make as to whether to send her early or whether to wait until she was kind of like basically kind of
Yeah.
5 and 9 months going to school. And I said, look, the place that I found, it's on a farm and they do a lot of outdoor stuff and it's not super academic focused. So I was like, look, if she's going to go anywhere, and I'm sending her for 3 days a week, so I was like, look, if she's going to go anywhere, go for 3 days a week. It's not a typical kind of classroom. I think she'll be able to focus, for that time, whatever. But she needs to be somewhat potty trained. And again, your one is so lovely. She's like, if she's 3/4 of the way there, she'll be fine. She'll pick it up with the rest of the kids. She'll be absolutely fine. So I was like, right, okay. So there was no pressure. So during the summer there, like, we probably had it about a month now. I was like, I'm just curious to see what she does with it. And in fairness, like, she picked it up really, really quickly, the concept of it.
Yeah.
But having the nappies on at night time was confusing the situation, which meant that every time she was wearing her nickies during the day, she think that it was her nappy and she could
That
just
it was her
go.
nappy. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
ended up, and I did a bit of research on it, not like Femur, to go down the rabbit hole and give me all the information. But I did a bit of research on it, and they actually say now that if you're doing the potty training, that doing it at night time as well simultaneously is actually a good thing to do. I can't cite the sources. I'd have to go back through everything, but that's what I read. Okay. But anyway, so that meant then that we had to start, and once we started doing it at night time, she started going completely dry during the day. So it did actually work.
Yeah.
But it also meant that she started to climb out of her crib, which meant that we had to put her into a big girl's bed, which meant that she's now free to roam and to wherever she wants and shout at the bottom of the stairs, "Mama, Mama!" And I'm like, and it's like super, super cute, and like she thinks it's hilarious, and it's just this whole new kind of like stage that she's at, which I absolutely love. But I wasn't ready for that yet. Wasn't prepared for that yet. So she's getting up very, very early. She's waking up at least once in the night to go potty, and yeah, we're just very, very tired. So if I was tired yesterday when I recorded the video, I'm even more tired today. But all that being said, she's actually getting on really, really well with it, and we're very, very excited for her to start in preschool. And Brie is just one of the funniest things.
How are you feeling about preschool?
I'm actually absolutely fine with it, and I kind of, when I was bringing her to like all these classes and kind of like gymboree or whatever, she'd go in and she'd start playing straight away. And like you, I was so happy that she was independent. She knew I was there. She may or may not look for me, and it was great. And I genuinely feel like I know she's going to absolutely have a ball. So I am genuinely not one bit worried about her. And like we went in to have a look at the place, and I'm telling you, Mert, like within 5 minutes of her being on the premises, there was a massive group hug of like 10 children around her. I was like, blessed. Like it's just, she's quite a sociable little kid. And so for that reason, I'm not super concerned. She's going for the 3 days. If it changes, it changes. Like, do you know what I mean? And I feel like we're in that position where I don't have to. She technically could do a 3rd year in preschool if she needs to. There really is no pressure on us whatsoever. So for that, I think it's actually really, really helped me. And then it just gives me a little bit of kind of one-on-one time with Brie, which probably haven't had as much of. And she's just becoming a proper little character. Like she's mocking you now. She's copying everything that you're saying. She's the look of devilment. Like she is just. If anyone has seen Brie and seen John, she is the absolute stamp of. And just the development that goes along with it, like it's just priceless. It's absolutely gas now at the minute. It really is. So yeah, but I mean, with that, like because we're tired and everything, we're obviously she's moved from crib to bed, lack of sleep, and then we're surviving during the daytime.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We may or may not get a nappy, and it might be in the car, it might not. And so there's definitely a lot more extra screen time being had to try and get us through the hours, which I'm feeling quite a bit of guilt about, but. At the same time, I'm like, look, it's a short period of time, and
exactly.
It is.
You know what, Sarah? One of my biggest regrets, right, when Fionn was small, and obviously I only had him, like, I will only ever have him, one and done. But he, like, I tried. Shane has a great saying, like, listen to many and hear some, and. I made myself feel so guilty about screen time, right? And overanalyzed the eyesight, what he was taking in, how it could be affecting him. And it got to the point where I was really like, oh God, like, I'm going to mess up my son. Like he's going to be sitting with a tablet in his hand for the rest of his life. Yeah. But sometimes needs must.
Yeah.
And you control the controllables. And if that's what's keeping the peace at the minute, it doesn't mean it has to keep the peace in 6 months' time, 2 years' time. It can all change. But if that's what's getting you through right now,
go for it. And even the other thing is Dodie, bloody Dodie. We were so good. We only had Dodie for bedtime, but then of course Brie has Dodie at different times throughout the day. It just has creeped back in again. So again, I think I'm actually looking forward to the preschool side of it, adding a bit more structure, adding a bit more boundaries to it, and be able to kind of say, no, we don't have Dodie. And we don't have it out and about. You know what I mean? But like at home, it's very hard to hide and very hard to keep. And if Brie has one
as well,
it's absolutely swiped. But yeah, it's all changing. Yeah, it feels like it's all just like literally up in the air. So we'll keep you updated on the antics of Fionn's love life and Paige's body training.
It's the big things in life, lad.
And literally any advice that greatly received. Any advice greatly received. It's gonna be a whole new era. But there is something else, Mer, that you wanted to discuss. Do you want to get into it?
So, I rode horses all of my life, right? Within reason, obviously. I think I started when I was well, 6, 7, maybe. I am small and I am square, and horses always kept my weight down. And obviously, I am not working in Clare's anymore, so I am not riding out. These last couple of months, realistically, I was going to say weeks, but realistically months, have been mental busy. Just an awful lot going on. So I have 3 horses in a field out there, and I have a horse in a field out there, and I'm not riding. And I'm putting on ferocious weight. And I was telling myself that it wasn't really bothering me, and I was all right. And it's okay because I'll just lose it again and I'll start back in. I was going to say the gym. I hate the gyms. That's a complete blatant lie. I'm not going to the gym because that's not going to happen. But when I looked back at the interviews from Dublin, the only thing that I could see, and it took a little bit of the goodness out of it for me, I'm not going to lie, as nervous as I was about Dublin and as much as I wanted it to go well, all I could see was my weight. And I really had to have a chat to myself and go, Marion, what are you doing? Why are you focusing? Your body produced an amazing child. It gets you around day to day. You're doing the best you can with what you have at the minute. Is your life going to change? Yes. Are you trying to set better boundaries, better routines, better diet? Yes. Is it going to work every day? 100% not. But it amazed me how much I looked at it and went, oh no,
Yeah.
no, don't like that. Don't, that
And
is,
so without looking at it more, like, how do you feel
oh, I feel shite.
first?
Oh, I
Okay.
feel absolutely shite. Like there's
That's the thing that
no,
I'd be saying. Yeah.
like, not necessarily, my weight never really bothered me. It's the fit of my clothes. Like, I don't weigh myself. I have absolutely no
No.
idea on God's green earth what I weigh. I wouldn't want to know what I weigh at the minute, being totally
No.
honest. But it's when I put on something that I was very, very comfortable in, and now I'm not comfortable in, that it really, I go, oh, no, I don't like
Yeah.
this. This makes me very uncomfortable. And like, I'm not built to be small. That's the way I am. I have a fine set of shoulders on me, and I've always had big arms, and I'm always going to be broad, and that's it. That's the way I'm built, and that is it. But whereas I was quite toned because I was riding 5, 6, 7 horses a day, and that was my exercise. That's now gone. So it's trying to
Yeah.
find that balance of, I want to be not even necessarily skinny. I want to be healthy, and I want to be happy with how I look. Be
Yeah.
that if it's not to the place,
Regardless of the size. Yeah.
regardless of what size I am, I want to be comfortable. And at the minute, I am not comfortable. I'm not going to go to the gym. For people that are going to listen to back on this podcast and people that are going to send me messages, I hate the gym, lads. That's just me. I sneak into the gym and the rugby club in Carlow in the mornings because I know nobody's going to be in there, and I do my little thing, and then I sneak my way on home because nobody can see me. But I am like, it's just not me. And I'm very, very lucky. Obviously, I have the facility in the rugby club, and I can do that, and that's grand, and I can belt away with that. But it's something that really, because it never overly bothered me before, and like I'm rapidly heading for my 40s, it's definitely something that is worrying me more now. And even when I think about like next year's showing season and fitting back into course, like even the photos from Ballyfoyle, from when Theo won in Ballyfoyle, I wouldn't buy the photo because all I could see when I looked at that photo was the coat being too tight. And like I
Oh
sobbed the
man.
whole way home in happiness because he won. But when I literally, when I looked on the laptop, I went, oh no, don't like that. No, no.
I'm like
So
I've been there and kind of half not recognized
yeah,
myself, you know what I mean? And like kind of gone, okay, that's not gonna work. And I don't know whether it's, I've had 2 babies in as many years, so obviously like my weight has fluctuated, but it's also the people kind of commenting and looking for that
that's
reason to
exactly what
see,
Christy just said.
how you are. And
Yeah.
there's a really good comment in here from Chrissy Strong in the Saddle. Do you think that
Yeah.
you're judging yourself more because you're on camera and it's going out to the world?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
If I could hide, like Shane says, like I am No, actually, I won't even say what Jen said because it'll come way out of context. But I love doing my job, and I have found a very, very happy place in Equitas that I don't even think I realised I needed, but I did. I needed
Yeah.
it in my heart and my soul. And what what I'd love people to know is that while I try very, very hard to not make an Instagram versus real life. This is me. This is who I am. I try to always be me, regardless if you're speaking to me face to face or I'm behind the camera. But sometimes I don't want to be behind the camera. Like sometimes I will wake up and go, no, not today, Josephine. Don't like it. You can look at my pretty horses. You can see my house, my yard, my life, but I don't want to be there. And whether it's like, I'm not saying that if I become teeny tiny and full of muscles and have 17 abs that it'll make me feel any better about being, there will obviously still be some days that I go, no, I still don't want to
Yeah.
do this. But I would love, and I am working very hard to get back to a point of comfort,
Yeah.
not tininess, but comfort. And it will come and it will take a long time. And I will do my very best. And as I say, there's going to be days where I'm not going to have a good day, or I'm going to eat rubbish, or I'm going to not feel it that day. And that's the reality of life. That's the balance. That's the way it's going to be. But I'm very stubborn. And if I get something into my head and I decide I'm doing it, especially if it's something I'm not comfortable with, then sit back and watch me because it'll happen. Like,
I love
the
it.
reason I asked is because I was the same. The more videos, the more I felt like I needed to put makeup on when going on camera. That's a very interesting one, actually. Would you
I think
have to put makeup on
probably
before you come on?
me.
Yeah.
There would have been a time, yeah, I probably would have, definitely. I've gotten way more, oh, look, I mean, I'm in the yard, I've got
Yeah.
2 kids, I haven't got the time to put
To
on a
put on.
face and makeup to do anything,
Yeah.
otherwise nothing to get done. Now, you might look at my Instagram and say, well, there's not much going on, and that's probably why. Like, I mean, evidence would suggest that I don't come on when I'm not wearing
Don't
makeup,
be
but
standing
like,
around with your hands in your pockets, Sarah, to be fair.
don't, yeah, no hands in the pockets. But at the same time, like I feel sometimes if I stick a cap on, it kind of half hides me, and
Yeah.
I'll do it. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like so much of it is, and this is why I asked the question about how do you feel, because so much of it is actually not necessarily. Let's be honest, our looks don't change that much from day to day. Our weight doesn't change that much from day to day, but how you
Yeah.
feel does. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so some days I wake up and I'm like, couldn't give a hoot whether I'm on camera or, you know, I'm no makeup on or whatever, or yeah, okay, I look a bit whatever. It is what it is. But then other days I'm feeling vulnerable, I'm feeling fragile, and I'm like, not today. If I can protect myself from it, I will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's fairly normal. And like I don't know, and I don't mean to kind of go the flip side of it, but like I've been like you, I actually haven't ridden in months.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably at least 2 or 3 months where I haven't ridden, and it's not for any other reason bar I've been busy in the evenings with Equitas and Envious. It's been
Yeah.
easier to let John go outside and me do my work in here rather than me
Yeah.
go down to the yard and ride. Emma's been in the yard looking after the horses, riding them and exercising. I haven't been needed down there, whereas I'm more needed here. So there's that side of it for me, and I've actually lost weight. Not one bit trying, no exercise, no nothing.
Yeah.
So I have lost weight, probably the smallest, I don't know if I've ever been,
Yeah,
but
Sarah,
I've
you're
changed
always
shape,
running
as in
around.
I'm not looking after myself, so that doesn't feel good. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I've lost
Yeah.
muscle tone, I've lost like what made me strong.
But yeah.
So I don't feel as good as I should do either. So like we're two of us are kind of on both sides of the spectrum, and it's hitting us
Yeah.
differently in
Yeah.
different ways. But it's interesting because I'm sure there's lots of, and then you have the people. I don't know how you feel about this, but like people say to me, "Oh, you've lost weight," and I'm like, I thanks. I don't feel like I
Yeah.
should be thanking them for it, you know. And actually, Chrissy wrote
Yeah.
a really good article about
People are
that.
rocking our
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
about
a
that. Like,
really
oh,
good
you've
one.
lost
Yeah.
weight, thanks,
Yeah.
stress. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm not stressed, but I'm busy and I'm not sleeping as much at night time and stuff like that. So my metabolism is up higher and all of those things. But
Yeah.
yeah, it comes back to how you feel in your body
Oh,
and presenting
definitely.
yourself to the world, I think.
And 100%. And I genuinely think, and it's one of the reasons that I love Equitas, because we're always real. regardless of what we're talking about, what is going on in the world, what is happening, we're real. And I think within that, we put ourselves into a really, really vulnerable position. So we can come on and we can talk about the fact that sometimes we feel shite and we don't want to be in front of a camera, or sometimes we're feeling great and we still don't want to be in front of a camera, but we're always honest. And I genuinely, hand on heart, think that that's one of the reasons that Equitas stands out, because we're not going to come on and, like, even with the mental health summit, like, that was a shit decision, and it was really, really hard and really tough, and it took a lot out of all of us. Like, let's clarify, like, the four of us, it was a really hard decision, but we didn't come on and go, oh well, we just decided and that was it. Sorry guys. Like, we were very raw and very real, and that's the way we've always been and will always be with everything, regardless of what it is.
So, well, look, I think it comes down to who you are, and I think also, like, that is, as you said, what makes kind of Equitas in itself. Like, the writers are the same. You know, people that contributed and share stuff, they're all the same. They're all like ordinary, normal people. Nobody has like an agenda or, you know, a kind of a, you know, an ulterior motive or anything. I think that's really, really cool. Lorraine is actually in there, 2 horse reviews, and I absolutely love this. She says, this is my face and my body. If you don't like it, don't look at it. Like, I mean, is that not should belong on a t-shirt? I don't know what is. No one is perfect. I put on weight due to perimenopause. Put that down as a topic, Mar. And I actually like my new boobs. Yay! Therapy has helped me like myself more. I love that. I think there's there's a strong place for there. And she comes back into content. Susan always says, it's your body, it does a job, it gets you from A to B, it's been here for 40 years, it is what it is. Yeah, I love that. And just the simplicity of that and the freedom involved and the release of kind of any standards or stigma is good. So I suppose the only thing that I would suggest, if I'm not the right person to be advising you more, but just pay attention to how you feel and let that override what your thoughts are on the look of.
I'm very lucky in ways, and I have all of you around me, and I have really good people at home around me, and I often say sometimes I get so caught up in my own head, I need a bit of a kick up the arse every now and again. Like, I need somebody to go, more, like, and I go, okay, give me a second. Let me step back. So I am in a very privileged position that I can take that step back and I can give myself, as you all know at this stage, I like organized chaos, but I can give myself steps, but my steps in my way, not in a gym where somebody is shouting at me and I'm a little bit scared. I can do it step by step. So it's great to see these way conversations being had, because it's so important to acknowledge. Yeah, I agree. This is going to cut us off in 10 minutes there.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's a good reason to keep us on track, isn't it?
It is. Instagram has decided we only have an hour. The devils.
But in fairness, I mean, already we have like inspiration for future topics. So if there's anything that you do want discussed, anybody, just let us know. Like DM, email, comment on the when this goes on the grid, anything like that. Just let us know. Literally, like, nothing is off topic, or off limits. Topic wise, we're very happy to discuss. And this is not necessarily about Equitas and about kind of anything else bar me and Mar. So it's
we can
we're happy to. We're not professionals or experts in any field really, but it's going to be our opinions and and our experience.
To make it sound right, there,
exactly. We wanted to, as a part of our wrap up, to do a little bit of a kind of the highs and lows of our week, but we're calling it the rights and wrongs of our week. So we're taking a little bit of inspiration from Abigail going, having the ride of my life. So the rides and the wrongs is what we're doing. The wins of the week and the things that we need to work on. So Murray, do you want to kick us off? What is your ride of the week?
My ride of the week was actually allowing myself to have quiet time after Dublin. Acknowledging the fact.
You couldn't have it after Dublin and the amount of work that you did. I mean, fucking hell.
But usually my brain is going to overdrive. I've had 47 things that I wanted to work on and wanted to do, and I get myself all into a tizzy, and allowing myself that 10 minutes of going, no, this is okay. And you can turn your phone upside down. You don't have to pay attention to it. And if people really want to talk to you, you can talk to them in 10 minutes. Previous Maureen wouldn't have done that. She wouldn't have been able to do that. So that is my definite win of this week. What is your one?
My mom, it's actually yet to come, so I'll be able to update you next week on how it went. But my mom had a massage appointment booked for Thursday, and it's at a time when my dad usually takes the girls, and she was like, Sarah, do you want that appointment? I was like, yes. Like, I nearly cried. I was like, yeah. I nearly cried, and I wouldn't even mind. But I also have a voucher for it, so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm literally, I cannot wait for it to kind of happen. So I had to laugh because I was like, it was such a visceral reaction. I was like, yeah, I want it. So that will be my ride of the week.
Come here, say hello, Jenny. When you can't have my wine, but you can say hello. No.
That'll be next.
Oh, Jesus, don't tell me that. Come here quick before we get to the house. You can have a glass of water.
Fiona, quick hi. How are you? How's things?
You know what? We were discussing you starting secondary school and going down to lecture books today. Would you mind telling people how you feel about starting secondary school?
Worried.
Worried? Why are you worried?
No, not worried. Nervous.
Nervous? I think everybody's a little bit nervous when you're starting secondary school.
I think nerves are good. Yeah, nerves are good.
At least it means that you care. It'd be worse if you didn't care at all. He's a man of few words.
He's a thinker. He's a thinker for sure. I hear you're selling a cow at the weekend, Fiona.
He might have to go play in a rugby match instead.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're going to decisions. What will be, will be.
Yeah. He's now pointing outside.
Pardon me. But can the cow be sold at a different time? Oh, all right. Okay. Sorry.
No, he said no. I'm saying yeah. It'll be fine. That's the eternal struggle in our house, lad. Carnew Mart is on a Saturday. Robbie is on a Saturday.
Oh,
it's an eternal struggle. But my heart. Did you hear that? Cheeky devil.
I suppose we kind of set ourselves up for that one, did we, Mar?
Off my rear.
That's right. Right, Mar. What's your wrong?
My wrong, and what really bothered me was the amazing racehorse to riding horse class that was in Dublin.
Yeah.
And the racehorse to riding horse classes that were in Tullow, and my beautifully stunning horse standing out in the field. I need to make more time for my horses, but it will come.
Yeah.
And the structure and the boundaries will come. And yes, we're heading for the wrong side of the summer and into the winter, but it is my plan to make it. So even if I don't ride, but I just spend time with my horses.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate that too. I think I'm actually in a position at the moment where I have Zara and Zenith of the Mare and Fall. They're here at my house, so they're at the backyard, so I'm feeding them twice a day or whatever. And I get a chance to go out and just do a bit of, I'm going to say handling.
Yeah.
I'm petting her.
Yeah.
Touching her bum. But yeah, I'm getting my hands on her, so I feel like I'm getting a bit of a fix there. And as I said, Emma has everything under control of the yard, which has just been a godsend. So I am lucky in that regard. But yeah, even just time spent, even if it's not in the saddle, is important.
Just time. I'm like, I first world problems. Like, I mean, they're here at home with me. Like, it's not, I don't have to travel a million miles to see them, but it's not even, it's me making time. Remember the deal we made? I 100% remember. I said it in an interview so that we had to do with Yvonne. There is no going back. Myself and Yvonne are, so to put this into context, Yvonne is coming back riding next year. She's going back endurance riding. She's a cracking rider, cracking horse person. She's a rock star. I actually can't wait till the two of you meet because I think you'll get on really, really well.
Brilliant.
But yeah, Yvonne broke Annabelle, you know, my chestnut mare.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we giggle constantly over Annabelle's antics and what she gets up to. But myself and Yvonne have said that we are going to do an endurance ride together next year. That is the plan. We are going out.
Wow.
We're going back to do an endurance ride. I've said it on two things now, so there is no going back. We have to. But it's literally just to make time. That is
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And it's so hard. We have to be so disciplined with it.
Yeah.
My wrong of the week is that my best friend Nicola is away in Greece. And I love her for it. But I feel like my right arm has been chopped off. Oh yeah, and like I mean, she's so organized. She has everything done. She has everything sorted for MVS, and there's very little for me to do, and everything is grand on her. But yeah, my best friend's away, and I just feel like there's just part of me missing, and just basically it's so she's listening. I hope she has an amazing time, but I hope she misses me. And of course, she's sending me pictures of margaritas, and it's just it'd be nice.
Someday,
It'd be nice.
We are going to go to Greece and we will send pictures of people back home margaritas and we will just be sitting till like drinking some margaritas.
How about we make our own margaritas for next week, Mark? Forget the wine. Let's go with the margarita.
Excellent plan. I like it.
If that's not a reason for people to join us next week, I don't know what is.
By the end of this, there, I'm going to have one of those hats that the two cans go into with the straws. Silence.
And people will be calling you Earl.
I'm not going to consider my best.
Right, we'll sign off, guys, on that note. From me and from Earl. And Gary's in saying, super first episode, girls. Can't wait for the next. No worries, Kermit. We will see you next week. Or Gary. I'm so sorry, Gary, that happened to you.
She's not. Brilliant.
Okay, thanks a million, guys. Don't forget to comment, send some topics that you want us to discuss. Open books here. So chat to you in a bit. Bye.
I love it. Thanks, lads. Bye.